87% chance of a Cardano ETF approval. Now that headline stopped me in my tracks. And believe it or not, that wasn't the craziest thing that I discovered about Cardano this week. Now there's a much bigger story unfolding, and I had to find out the truth. So I'm just scrolling through crypto news and I see this bold claim: Cardano ETF approval odds hit 87%. Now my first thought was, yeah, right, what's the catch? I mean, 87% is insanely high for something as huge as an ETF. So, for context, an ETF or an exchange-traded fund would let big institutions buy ADA a bit like a stock, potentially pouring billions of dollars into Cardano. Now, if the odds are truly that high, then something big is brewing. So naturally, the skeptic me kicks in, right? I wasn't about to take that at, well, face value. I dove in headfirst to verify it, and before I knew it, I was tumbling down a Cardano rabbit hole. Now, in the span of just a few days, I went from an eye roll to a jaw drop as I uncovered a series of developments: surprise exchange listings, a free educational Discord community buzzing with information, shameless plug, we have one of those, link is in the description, and a new mobile network project that literally lets my phone earn ADA, and of course whales quietly stockpiling millions of tokens. Each clue led to another, and like a kind of crypto treasure hunt, if you will. By the end, I wasn't just convinced, I was blown away by how much is happening behind the scenes. So stick around here because I'm about to share this journey with you guys, from the ETF rumor that started it all to a personal experiment that I'm running with Cardano that might just change how you see ADA. Now, before we continue, just a couple of important notes. Now, this might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. And one more thing, if you're looking for a place to discuss crypto and learn together, then you can join our free educational Discord server. You'll find an invite link in the description down below. We've got a great community of retail investors and enthusiasts helping each other out every single day. Lastly, a huge thank you to our partners, BitGet and Blowfin crypto exchanges. We've got affiliate links for both of those in the description as well, which support the channel at no extra cost to you. So if you are shopping around for a new exchange or want to trade some ADA, you can check those guys out. Using those links helps us keep this content coming. All right, let's get back to the story. So let's rewind to where all of this actually started, the Cardano ETF buzz. Now, I found out that Grayscale, the big crypto asset manager, had filed the official paperwork to launch a Cardano ETF. That is huge on its own. Grayscale basically saying, hey, we want a regulated ADA fund on the stock market. But what really caught everyone's attention was the betting odds, right? There's a prediction market called Polymarket where everyone wagers on events, right? And apparently the crowd there was so bullish that they actually priced in an 87% chance of the Cardano ETF getting approved. Even Bloomberg analysts, the more conservative folk, were actually estimating around 75% odds. Right, for comparison, those odds are higher than what we saw for a Bitcoin ETF just a few years ago. So it's like the market is saying, we think it's almost a done deal. And I'll be honest, my first reaction was extreme FOMO mixed with skepticism. Like, why is everyone suddenly so confident about Cardano of all things? Right, Cardano is not exactly the media darling like Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? It's often been dubbed the slow and steady tortoise of crypto. So what actually changed? I needed to know if this was just polymarket degenerates getting overexcited, or if there were some solid reasons beneath. Digging deeper, I discovered that Cardano's ecosystem has quietly been catching fire in the past couple of months. It's kind of like while nobody was looking, a whole bunch of pieces fell into place all at once. First, I saw several Cardano native tokens started popping up on big exchanges, a sign of growing interest and liquidity for the Cardano ecosystem. For example, a community-driven token called SNEK, that's S-N-E-K, yes, like snake, but spelled SNEK, as in S-N-E-K, a meme coin that Cardano people seem to love. Right? It got listed on KuCoin, Hotcoin Global, and even HTX. Now, if you haven't heard of SNEK or S-N-E-K, it's basically a fun community token that somehow became one of the largest Cardano tokens by trading volume. Seeing it on multiple, major exchanges is kind of a big deal. It means Cardano projects are breaking into mainstream crypto markets. And it's not just SNEK, right? Around the same time, Kraken, one of the most respected global exchanges, listed World Mobile Token, WMTX. Now, WMTX is interesting. It's the utility token for World Mobile, a decentralized wireless network project built partly on Cardano. It's actually gone multi-chain now. Now, by Kraken listing World Mobile Token, suddenly millions of users worldwide get access to this token. It was World Mobile's kind of first big US compliant exchange listing, and it instantly boosted visibility for Cardano's real-world use case in telecoms. On top of that, 𝗕𝗄𝗃 Global, added a token called Palm, which is all about the digital culture and, community engagement. Now, Palm might not be huge just yet, but it represents Cardano branching into creative and social applications, and of course, working with real-world asset tokenization. So the common thread here is that Cardano's native token ecosystem is actually expanding beyond just ADA, and big exchanges are taking notice. It kind of felt like evidence that Cardano's community projects are maturing. Now, this isn't the kind of flashy news that gets a lot of clicks, but for Cardano insiders, it's extremely encouraging. Greater exchange access means more users, more liquidity, and more legitimacy for the network's tokens. Now, all of these listings happening almost back to back. And then I found out that Cardano wasn't stopping at tokens. It's actually tackling education too. The Cardano Foundation, the non-profit behind Cardano developments, launched a Cardano fundamentals course on the Binance Academy. Just think about that then, right? Binance is the world's largest crypto exchange, and their Academy platform reaches people all over the globe. So by putting a Cardano course on there, it's like rolling out a welcome mat for newcomers. It covers Cardano's design and use cases in a newbie kind of friendly way. Now, which we can only help, right, bring more developers and users into the ecosystem, right? Now, I love this because it shows Cardano isn't just hyping up the price. They're actually investing in understanding. Now, for a project that often criticized as too academic or too slow, making education a priority kind of tracks perfectly with Cardano's style. It's slow and steady, yes, but it's also building a knowledgeable community. Now, by this point, a picture was forming in my mind, right? We've got these under the radar wins, token listings, education initiatives, right? That collectively strengthens Cardano's foundation. And that got me thinking, maybe this is why those ETF odds are so high. Maybe insiders or institutional folks are seeing Cardano actually deliver lately, so confidence is rising. It's not just blind optimism, that there are tangible improvements. And you know who else seemed to agree? Well, the market itself. ADA's price has been rebounding even before the ETF news broke. Just over the last quarter, ADA climbed from its lows of around 50 cents up to around 85 cents. That's roughly 70% jump in just a few months. Even while a lot of the other kind of cryptos were rather flat. Now, to me, that was a great signal. Something fundamentally changed in how ADA was being valued. Sure enough, I came across analysis by a well-known crypto chartist. One analyst looked at ADA's chart and said it resembles the 2020 breakout pattern, when Cardano went from literally 10 cents to $3 in a massive rally. Right? He plotted a technical target of around $14 to $15 for ADA in the next bullish cycle. which sounds crazy high, right? But it's based on factuals and historical repetition. Now, and that would be roughly an 18x gain from the current levels, on paper at least. Now, I'm not here to sell hopium. That's just one person's take, but it's telling that kind of credible analysts are even talking about a double-digit ADA price now. It's a far cry from a year ago when ADA was, languishingly kind of low and everyone was kind of bored of it in one way or another. Now, another signal here is that whales have been busy. On-chain data shows that large holders scooped up 70 million ADA in just 1 week. That's roughly $60 million worth at the time, accumulated by addresses holding 1 million to 10 million ADA each. Now, these whales now collectively hold 5.6 billion ADA, or 15% of the supply. Now, when I see that, I get goosebumps. Right? Remember, whales don't typically buy tens of millions of tokens on a whim. They often know something or have strong conviction about future developments. So it's like seeing footprints of giants moving into the market. Now, it added even more confidence to the idea that Cardano is gearing up for something significant. So up until now, the story was all about big picture stuff, right? Institutions, exchanges, whales, education. You might be thinking, this is cool, but where's the personal angle that you promised? Oh, don't worry, because here it comes. And it involves something that I never expected to be a part of, a decentralized mobile network called Unity. So here's how it went down. While reading about World Mobile, remember World Mobile token got listed on Kraken? Well, I stumbled on this project called Unity. Right now, the premise kind of blew my mind here. Unity basically lets regular people like you and me turn our smartphones, things like this, into, part of a global telecoms grid and earn crypto rewards in return. Now, I'm talking real proof of work, but done with your phone making verification calls to test the phone network, rather than crunching blockchain hashes, right? And every time that your phone, with the Unity app, makes a special verification call, it's checking for issues in the mobile network and logging them on the World Mobile blockchain. Now, in return, you earn crypto, and get this, you can choose your rewards to be paid in different cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, or others, right? And yes, you can literally mine network coverage and get paid in ADA for it. So when I first read that, I thought that sounded a bit like sci-fi. It was a bit like World Mobile nodes and Helium, and maybe even Cardano had a baby together, and your phone becomes this kind of edge node that actually helps verify the telecoms network's integrity. Naturally, I was both curious and skeptical. So how would this even work? And is it for real, or is it just hype? So I dug deeper. Now, Unity nodes are limited edition hardware licenses in the form of NFTs, and each NFT will cost you around $5,000. So the price tag includes some staked tokens. World Mobile tokens and Minute Network tokens are staked to the NFT. And you do get a whole bunch of Unity licenses, 200 per NFT node. That means that you can rent, you can actually lease them out if you don't want them, or you can set up 200 mobile phones. Now, essentially, if you own a Unity node, you can run the operation and also let up to 200 phones participate under your umbrella. Now, those phones, each using a Unity license, will actually make the verification calls via the Unity app and earn crypto from the network's service fees. Now, the phone operators get 75% of the rewards that they get generated, and the node owner will get a cut, if they leased out the licenses. So if you buy the node, then you get 200 licenses, you can lease those licenses out or keep them yourself. If you lease them out, you can set different arrangements up, 75, 25, that kind of stuff. And the remaining 25%, of service fees actually goes to supporting the wider network infrastructure. So in simple terms, Unity ties together everyday smartphone users with blockchain initiatives. It's crowdsourcing the job of monitoring cell networks and paying people in crypto instead of the typical kind of salary. Now, this concept, it fascinated me. A real-world utility intersecting with Cardano's ecosystem because of World Mobile is built on, Cardano, although it is multi-chain now, but you kind of get the idea. So I did something crazy, or a little crazy. I bought a Unity node. Yeah, right? I am now the owner of a Unity node or one of those Unity node operators in the world, right? Then the app hasn't launched at the point of recording this just yet, but I'm preparing, right? You see this here. This is going to be a little mini test for 10 smartphones. I'm going to have them all lined up on here, and I'm going to see how this thing performs in practice. It's on a small scale to start with, and if it does work out, if those phones can indeed verify calls and rack up ADA or any other cryptocurrency, then I'm going to consider scaling it up with more of my licenses. Will 20, 40, 80, 100, I don't know. I've got 200 licenses. I could set up a whole farm if I wanted to. So I basically want to stress test Unity on a mini level before going bigger. And here's the cool part. I've already decided that once I start earning rewards, I'm going to opt to be paid in ADA. And I'm going to take my ADA and I'm going to stake it, and I'm going to earn staking rewards back into my own staking pool. Yes, for those who don't know, we do run a community stake pool for ADA. The ticker is 𝗕𝗘𝗪, right? And staking is kind of like earning interest on your ADA, and it helps secure the network. So there's no lockup periods on Cardano staking. You can unstake at any time, right? And the pool isn't even close to the saturation level, meaning that there's so much more room for our pool to grow even bigger. So you can come and take advantage of the passive income. Now, ADA, we can actually take a whole lot more, welcome a whole lot more ADA without reducing any of the rewards for anybody, right? It's a great way to make your ADA work harder for you while supporting decentralization. So by feeding my Unity earned ADA into the 𝗕𝗘𝗪 pool, I'm kind of compounding my rewards on two different fronts. So as a quick kind of invite, if you do hold ADA and you want to stake along with us at 𝗕𝗘𝗪, then we'd love to have you. You can find more details in the description below. So you might be thinking, why on earth am I talking about Unity nodes in this Cardano story? Well, it's because it was my kind of personal aha moment, right? Here I was chasing the big ETF story, right? Every Wall Street, every high level, and I ended up getting a hands-on grassroots tech project in the crypto Cardano universe. So it's kind of like I set out to investigate institutional adoption and found myself knee-deep in a community-driven initiative, right? The contrast is a bit poetic. On one hand, you have institutional giants lining up to potentially inject billions of dollars via an ETF. And on the other side, you have everyday people like me and you literally using smartphones to grow Cardano's reach on the ground. So it's top down meets bottom up. And that's when it kind of hit me. This is how Cardano wins, by attacking on all different fronts: big money, retail adoption, technical education, governance improvements, real world utility. It's all happening simultaneously. And it gave me this new appreciation for Cardano's slogan of sorts, slow and steady, right? The slow part was the years of research and building. And the steady part is what we're seeing now, multiple steady advances converging all at the same time. So by the end of this deep dive, I had completely reframed my outlook on Cardano. Remember how I started, right? Half doubting the 87% ETF stat, right? Now I'm thinking maybe it is actually justified. Cardano is showing up with receipts. We have regulatory momentum, the ETF filings, polymarket odds, right? A market momentum, price resilience, whale accumulation. We've got ecosystem momentum, right? That's new tokens and use cases like SNEC, World Mobile, Palm making waves. And community momentum, education initiatives, Discord groups, stake pools, Unity, you name it, right? Even governance is evolving. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Cardano Foundation rolled out a big new roadmap focusing on stablecoin liquidity, DeFi, and real-world asset tokenization to drive the next phase of adoption. Charles Hoskinson, Cardano's founder, gave it a thumbs up as a good start. But, he also pushed for a community-elected board to help oversee these initiatives. In his words, that would be the last mile for getting Cardano governance where it needs to be. Now, I love that mentality. Even when things are looking up, keep striving for more decentralization and transparency. It shows the community and its leaders are thinking the long term. So, where does that leave us? Well, if nothing else, I've learned that Cardano's story can't be summed up by a single headline. Not by ADA to $15, not by 87% ETF chance, not by meme coin listed or new course launched. alone, right? It's the combination of all of that really matters, right? Cardano often gets flack for not having explosive DeFi TVL, right? Or for being late to features like smart contracts. But what I see now is an ecosystem meticulously putting all of the pieces together: liquidity, education, real-world use case, right? Community governance, and yes, even courting institutional interest. It's kind of like watching a puzzle complete in real time. Each piece by itself seems a little small, but together they actually form a picture of a network that is gaining serious momentum. Personally, this journey has made me more optimistic about Cardano than I've been in a rather long time. Right? It's not blind, or at least I'm not blind to it, and it's not blind optimism either. It's informed by what I've seen and what I've touched. Right? I'm literally participating by running multiple Unity node licenses and staking ADA, because I believe in being a part of this grassroots action. Will ADA hit $10 or $15 in the next bull run? I honestly do not know, and I'm not betting the farm on it, but I do know that I'm not, at least I am going to keep on accumulating, and I'm going to keep on staking, because the fundamentals here are stronger than ever before. If an ETF gets approved, great. That could be a rocket fuel moment for sure. Now, if not, Cardano will keep doing what Cardano does, one block at a time, and I'm cool with that too. The tortoise versus the hare fable comes to mind. Slow and steady can indeed win the race, especially when the race is a marathon like global blockchain adoption. And by the way, if you made it this far into the video, you probably share some of that conviction, or at least the curiosity. Remember, right? You're not alone. Come and join the Discord and connect with thousands of other people on the same path. Whether you're here for the tech, the gains, or the community, right? Cardano's got a bit of everything right now. It certainly got me excited enough to share this story with all of you guys. So if you've enjoyed coming along on this little adventure with me, make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and join the community. Right? I've got plenty more stories and discoveries to share, and I would love you to all be a part of it. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.